I logged in for it. Oh,
like it's supposed to. Solid, you're live.
Yay! All right. Oh, that's cool.
While recording, I don't know how that plays in when you live. We're going to open video recording.
Yeah, they make it like a computer.
But,
all right, everybody ready? We're live. We're going to do some warm up, or early warm up. You guys on where the video is pointed primarily at this ladder. That ladder is open and free with like a cup out there. Yeah, nobody. I got the camera on you putting your cup in, Ron, but because that's how we make our extra money. And
that is very strange.
and Saiba comes show off her arm.
I got
she has a nice little bruise. This is what happens when you don't.
I saw it yesterday. But it was
cool.
fresh.
Oh. So the lesson is block better.
I haven't fought since last week. My back still hates me for being in kit for that long.
That's where this came from.
All right, so let's go ahead and get our simple body weight squats in. I'm going to send a video out later talking about the right way and the wrong way to do squats. I was watching and how they talk about it. It mostly talks about the line of when you're doing the line of your back compared to the line of your leg. You kind of want them this way even. You don't want this where the line of your leg and the line of your back intersect. Okay, that's what hurts you. So you want the line relatively even. If you're good at keeping your eyes up and you're good at making sure you got a decent posture, you should be perfectly fine. Let's get some nice warm-ups in here. Side classic knees keep cracking it freaking. I know. All right, so let's get our good toe ups. So nice and slow again. Push up on the toes, and then leave your heels off the ground. Bend down as much as you can. You don't have to go all the way, of course. That's the way. And then back up. And then push up on those toes again. Get those feet nice and strong. And then push. Good. And then push. Again, your back should be nice and perfectly straight up and down. You shouldn't be this. Your heels on the ground, your back will bend. But when you can adjust your toes, your back should be able to go perfectly square. Up and down. If you find yourself falling, it's probably because you're not. Probably because you're leaning backwards or forward too much. So find that perfect center. The key here is finding that perfect center will leave you in a good position. All right, let's get our long leg stretches in. Get in a good stance. Put that weight a little bit on those toes, on the balls of the feet. Then roll onto that front. Then roll onto the toe. Get that back nice enough. You should be pushing with the belly button or your belt buckle. And then all the way back. Again, your back should stay perfectly vertical to the ground. Your head should travel in a perfect horizontal to the ground. Really push it so you can feel your toes have to stop you from falling. Exactly. And back. Bend those knees a little bit. And you'll find you get even more room out of these. Or more distance. Good. Let's switch. then back again. Good. Keep your head right on the line. Just be bobbing up and down. There we go. If you find yourself, your back tending to want to lean, you can just grab your belt. You can kind of remind you, kind of like what Side's doing with her hand. Kind of reminding her where the center is. So it's very European to carry, the good posture. So we tend to pull a lot of stress up into our upper chest, which also causes us, because we move that center up here, it causes us to do a lot of leaning with our chest. Where in Asia and places there, they relax their chest and they sink. They sink into their stomach, so that moves that point down, and that allows them to stay in a much more balanced, flowy scenario. There's a couple benefits out of that, just so, and I probably explained this a long time ago, but it's been a while. One benefit out of relaxing your chest and not worrying about your shoulders being back all the time, although you have to watch it, just good posture. Don't pull it. Just don't keep that tension up in your chest, because tension in your chest will reduce oxygen and the amount your lungs can actually expand. Black Up Magazine had an article up to 20%. If you're tense up in the chest, you're reducing an amount of oxygen in. So if you just allow that upper body to be nice and relaxed, that allows the frame to be open and get more air in. So just be aware of that. It's what they talk about breathing from the belly. All right, let's get a few of these in. All right, let's get a couple of the Nessa ones in. If you have a tennis ball, put it there. If you have a fist, make a fist and just roll those knees all the way around. Keep those knees nice and tight on your fist. You just want to get the fluid going in those knees early, and then the other way. You should hear your feet and ankles crack a little bit if you're rolling nicely. Don't be afraid of that. You're amazed how much your feet and ankles will pop and groan. All right. So I think Sai's about ready to murder us.
Yay, murder.
I wonder what diabolical scheme she has for us today.
Well, I was nice. She wanted to increase it all the way up to like 45 seconds. I was like, how about 25 seconds?
I was going to do 30, 15. We compromised on 25.
So we're at 25, 10.
It's like, you still only get 10 seconds of rest. That's your motivation to make it up to 30 seconds of work, because then you get 15 seconds of rest.
That's right.
Let me change the setting on my phone so it won't turn off, so that I will be able to see. Okay, now that I've got that, remember we're going to start with our flat foot squats. And we're going to do jump squats, lunges, in and outs, ice skaters, and our high knees. We'll call them out and show you. You'll know what's coming. But get ready. 5, 4, 3, 2, regular squats, go. Round 1. Remember to pace yourself. Go at the speed that you can maintain for 25 seconds. If that's faster or slower than we're going, cool, not a big deal. Next is jump squats. So do your squat and then go up and jump or go on your toes. Go.
Round 2.
Doesn't have to be a big jump. As long as you leave the ground, you've done it.
5 more seconds.
Up next is our lunges. Alternating lunges.
Round 3.
Also, try not to take too giant of a step on these. We're not going for crazy distance. Just enough that you can spin that. Up next is our in and outs. That's our jump out to a squat and go down.
Round 4.
Ice skaters. Our side to side jumps. In 2, 1, go.
Round 5.
Last one is our high knees.
Round 6. Final.
Five more seconds.
All right. Nice job, everyone. Get a drink. Hope everybody's thighs feel as bad as mine. Woo. Well, that felt good. Hopefully we work that up to 30 seconds in the next couple of weeks. Remember, it's something you guys, everybody can do on their own. They want to get a little bit of work in during the week. There's a lot of bursting in there. There's a lot of drop step. There's some endurance, some high feet, all great stuff for what we do. So today we're going to go through a lot of the angle movement stuff to lead into some of the shadow box stuff and some of the fall strike and go stuff. I'm adding this again because I think it's so important when we fight that when you're fighting somebody, this is the most dangerous place right in front of them. If I'm on an angle, their feet are wrong, their hips are wrong, I feel very comfortable. That angle could be here. You can maintain the same distance in that angle by shooting into the correct 45 or correct angle Or you can just shoot to the side, create more distance. That way they're not ever really 100% sure where you're going. So there's a lot of opportunity, or your angle could be tighter. If I know they're here, I could be here. Then I want to throw a wrap. I already broke. I'll show you what I do. The idea here is I look at her feet. Front foot is in between mine. I have an opportunity. A lot of times I'll just give them a little pressure here, load up this front foot. Notice my back stays. They see this load up. This frees this back foot to shoot right across the side. Now look at her feet. Totally sideways to me. This is very difficult for them to defend. So today I want to talk about that more. Today we'll be working on fall in, bang, and then slide. Okay? Slide back and forth. And we're back out. Could be jab, angle. All right? But this is what we don't want to see. Jab. In her strongest defense, in her strongest offense. This is not where you want to be. So that change of angle, that slide or angle change, needs to be more natural. Needs to just happen all the time. So we're going to work angles on the ladder first.
So what we're going to do is we're going to start with the non-angled version and then move into the angled version for a couple of these. Get the basic feet and then add on the turn part. So we're going to start with actually just our regular old drop steps here. So we're here. We're just going to do a little step out, drop step.
Yeah. Again, this is just a simple drop step. You remember, you should be shifting your hip sideways and falling into this step. Your head should stay evenly even height. You can speed these up. You can work on keeping your feet the same. Which one's forward, which one's back. You can change your, there's all kinds of things. But I'd like you to think about, as you're doing this, maybe changing up speed, where your feet are landing. In this case, I'm going to always keep the 1 foot forward. The other case, I was changing it up. I want to feel when I'm dropping. If you got time, you can change from forward to back. Think about dropping your knees and trying it, trying to recognize the difference when you do that, what it does. Key today is thinking. Not thinking where it hurts you, but just thinking about the technique and how your body feels. Because it's super important in a fight to understand how your body feels. Because if you're not feeling right, then you need to figure out what's wrong.
Now that we've done that clean regular drop step, now we're going to add the turning part. That means I'm going to start at a 45-degree angle. Since this is our basic drop step where we go apart and then gather, I'm going to take this foot first, and we're going to do that turn. This is your basic triangle step out of a lot of long sword disciplines.
Again, you can add your sword shield here if you're used to it. Work on keeping it perfectly in place.
Just imagine there's an opponent standing right in front of where you are, jumping into their 45 and turning the feet. do the same thing going backwards. If you're feeling comfortable forward.
If you have a hard time with the back one, do the front one. Again, the other way you can do this is think about pushing your hip forward. And both feet end up turning. Then add a little more burst to it. Yeah. See how fast that becomes?
Remember, this is the one where our feet go apart first and then back together. Our basic drop gather. Next, we're going to go into the shuffle verse. They're both perfectly good moves. So while we're practicing, we're going to try and draw a distinction between them so that we can make sure we're working both. Like crazy, right? Sorry, you're doing the shuffle version right now.
Put it top first.
Yeah. So you go standing 45.
Right.
Put this in the ladder and move it first. Other foot. Hold on. Right?
That's fine with it.
Okay.
Yeah, I think he's doing shuffle on purpose. Perfect shuffle. All right.
Next, we're going to move. We're going to straighten back up. We're going to do just our basic shuffle drop step. So that's moving that outside leg first. Maybe that straight down the ladder.
Again, shift your hips before your feet move.
Don't forget to do backwards if you're comfortable with forward. Been a few weeks since I said it, so I'm going to go ahead and give a reminder to anyone newer joining us either on Facebook or later on YouTube. We have other videos that are posted on Coach Corner's YouTube page where we show all of these and break them down a little bit. So if you're newer and having trouble following along, we're going through a little faster right now. Definitely go find those videos and slow-mo and whatever you need. Or contact us anytime. We're happy to help you out. So next, we're going to go and take that same one, and now we're going to make it turn as well. We're going to go back to my 45-degree angle. Outside leg moves first. Going around the imaginary pony.
Key on this one is make sure your front foot, when you land it in front of the other, turns onto that angle you want, or at least as close as you can.
So drive your heel into position.
Right. The heel leads instead of the toe. Right? Right. Nice job.
You can really push the outside hip, drive it across. That's where the motion begins.
Well,
Again, you're leading with your heel. That front foot starts leading in the back. After you get really used to this, you'll find that both feet end up off the ground as that other one's coming across. All right, let's see how everyone's doing over there. Going to you, Marguerite. Very nice, leading with that heel. That's the way. It's landing perfect. Really, forward's good too. Then your knees are nice and bent. Over to Craig. Oh, maybe not. There we go. Yeah, perfect. You can feel, for Craig, what's happening is that hip pop and the feet, literally as that front foot crosses the other one's starting to leave the floor. That's nice. You're starting to pick up that double, kind of that hop or turn and both feet leave the ground. Those are nice. Those are really, really good. All right, let's go over to them. Yeah, that is short. Great job. Good. That's the way to take it slow first. Very nice. Keep your eyes up, Jim, right at your opponent's shoulder. Very good. Yep. That way you're always looking like you're looking at your opponent. You're going to be on the sides of him, so your head's going to be on the swivel. Think of that opponent standing, standing right where the phone is. All right, Abelard, let's see. You're supposed to want to be perfect. Nice. See, you got that good skipping motion as well. Very good. And you look like here. Nice and stacked in the back. Very nice. Your man, let's see. Right, you can go ahead and take a step out of that if you want. It's just one step in there. So you're adding a double step.
doing the turning step, which is where we're going
next. That'd be where we're going next, is actually the turning step you're doing right now. How's everyone else? Good. All right. And we're going to go ahead and come back to us. Somewhere. There we are. All right.
All right, so now we're going to go into our turning step. We're going to actually work our way through the many versions where focus is on turning. Starting out in my stance. For me, left foot forward, right foot back. I'm going to take my back foot as it ends the ladder, facing down in the direction I'm going. Spin around, get back in my stance. Back foot faces down the ladder.
Should be on the balls of your feet.
So what we are aiming for is a full 180-degree swap. So I'm facing directly into the ladder. I'm facing directly into the ladder. Try and allow your feet to pivot a little bit on your toes. Help keep that torque from going in your knees so you can make that full turn. If you are torquing your knees and it hurts, go for a smaller angle.
The key here is you should feel like you're almost in some of these, you should feel like your butt's leading you. So as soon as I step here, I feel this hip start leading me. And then I literally fall back out. Now I'm changing forward again. And then I'm back. So this is changing the direction that you're actually dropping your hips into all the time. This is why we're trying to get used to this.
The rotation's happening on the ball of the feet.
You got it. Good. That's right. All right, so you're here, you got the ball here. just pointed out his knee was hurting on this. And what was happening, this is why it's important to be on the balls of your feet. Because what happens here is if this foot doesn't turn while I do this, because I'm on my heel a little bit, I am twisting my knee. The idea is this turns, your whole body is shifting. If I'm on the ball of my foot, it naturally twists. My feet are always staying pretty much just parallel to each other.
And keeping your knees bent helps force that too. Helps stabilize the knee more.
The next variation. I'm in my same stance again. I'll even start on the same side of the ladder just to make it easy. This time I'm going to take the front foot and step with it first. Same deal. I'm just going to point it right down the ladder and flip around. I start with that front foot every time, no matter which side of the ladder I'm starting.
Again, this should be mostly on the ball of your foot. Both of them.
If you practice this a lot and you want to add a little bit on to this, try and visualize where you can throw shots in the middle of this motion.
This is where picking up your sword and shield, like Sigrid's doing, will help you find your place.
I look at you and it breaks down.
And helps with maintaining your defense.
So a lot of this is going to look, you're going to still be probably a little bit more on an angle. So if you're looking at me, there you go, right? There you go. Now go ahead and make that happen. Exactly.
There you go.
And you can just, it's not going to be perfectly sideways. See, now it's sideways. Go sideways. Now you're sideways. See how it's happening here? Good.
You'll probably find there's at least two places where you can throw shots. One a little bit earlier, one a little bit later.
And if you're doing well with these, then still in that normal stance, you can try going backwards. I'm still in my same stance. I'm going to go back to stepping with the back foot first. This time, the only difference is instead of pointing it down the ladder in the direction I'm going, I'm going to point it this way down the ladder in the direction I'm coming from. And I just flip back around into my stance. Literally comes down to where you point that foot on that first step determines everything. And I'm going to do backwards the other way, stepping with the front foot. Again, same thing. The only thing that changes from going forward is now I'm just pointing my foot backwards down the ladder. Everything else just naturally falls right in. It naturally falls right in, pushing it forward to the out. Not exactly yet. Keep working, it'll come.
Now that you've done all four, we can do reverse stance.
Second half of this is swap your feet, put your other foot forward into the funny foot stance, whatever that is for you. Do all of those again.
Good.
But this one you turn into a brain country sometimes.
There you go.
Also like that so that you're landing like perfectly balanced between the feet and the end. Not like over the feet off.
turn it, you have it rotating almost all the same time. Right? So if I don't, then I'm twisting my knee. So just so I was showing somebody here, they asked again about the foot on the ground. The idea again here is if I take this foot and I start turning and my other foot is solid on the ground, my feet are no longer parallel and I'm twisting that knee. If I take this foot and my whole body's turned. So this is the exact same reason I like when I fight somebody, like if I'm fighting Louis here, I'll shift to the side to see if he just turns his body or leans. A lot of people, as soon as I shift, they just turn their upper body. No, he's lost a lot of strength, he lost rotation, and his feet are really torn. So what that tells me is that I can take advantage by staying on the sides of his body. Okay, because he can't throw the same shot. Now, if he doesn't, if he takes up that space with his feet and turns, keeping both feet here, see now all of a sudden, he's even in that switch, he could be throwing, as we know. So even while he's turning with me, he's able to throw normally, his normal shot, defensively, he's still strong, all of those pieces. This is the reason why we want to keep those feet, those hips oriented on our opponent at all times. Thank you, Luke.
I'm going to go ahead and run through my funny foot stance.
Go for it.
You haven't given that a try yet. At home, please do. Bring that around it.
So understand when you're doing these that you may be going forward, you may be going just side to side, you may be going backwards because your opponent's coming at you. You probably will not be shifting completely from a straight 90-degree angle to another straight 90-degree angle. You're probably going to be more in a position where, so you're probably going to be in more of a position that as I take, if I'm here, stay where you are. As I'm here, I might be over here, and then I might be over here. If he starts backing out, then all of a sudden, I'm there. If he starts coming at me, over here. We have to be able to fall back and forth comfortably, because again, the less we think about it, the more it's natural, the more we can think about how we're going to attack and what weaknesses our opponent has. Thank you.
As another little exercise, something you can do is if you get in a rhythm with these where you can actually do these kind of quick, then try a few where you land, where you end up putting your weight on your heels, and you'll see how frozen you are from doing the next one. It really slows you down and you lose a lot of control.
And how much it tweaks your knees.
Again, if you're using a sword and shield, the key is to watch the gap. As you're doing stuff, watch this gap between your sword and shield. Make sure that gap doesn't open, close, because as it opens and closes, your opponent will see opportunity.
Many variations of turning step are our last ladder drill for today. So go ahead and make sure you're doing all of them, and then grab yourself a drink of water or something once you're done. And go ahead, guys, if you want to get in, we'll pull up this ladder, and if you guys want to get in armor, go for it.
If you want to put one foot inside the ladder and pivot back and forth while your knees bent on the ball of your foot.
So what he's talking about is this right here. He's going to go back and my foot's already in the ladder like I stepped. All I'm doing is over here. Right? And then back.
And you almost keep that front leg locked so that the knees bent a little bit, and you just maintain that as you're rotating.
Then you can do it with your other foot. Yeah, definitely. So the trick is in a fight, what happens is I'm here, I make them think about something up here, and then I fall over. So in this case, I'm not going to keep the foot there, but what I'm going to do is I'm going to step out and turn, just and then I turn. So you want to divert, make them think about something else, and then you can add foot.
And in general,
in our next step, what we're going to do is essentially this. We're going to be here. You might pop in, throw a shot.
Yes.
Right? So that way they're in defense, their shields up, covering them, and then we're moving.
In general, if you're doing smaller steps, they're not going to be as dangerous as far as being in front of your opponent. It takes a little less courage to do a small little pivot than to do one of these big giant leaps.
Well, the good part is
smaller steps.
Yeah, I mean, you have to be on the ground to change direction and have more control. So the less you're on the ground, the less you have control.
All right, actually, so we're going to do one more exercise. I want people getting in armor here. We're going to do, everybody get a drink of water after you're done there. And we're going to run through a little bit of our shadow stuff. Let me set up my camera, my phone. See how I'm going to work the boxing app here.
It's all giving me a new, very short class idea.
Yeah?
5 minutes of ballet class to improve your fighting footwork.
Yeah, no kidding. That'd actually be a good class.
No, just that one. And like everything we're talking about with being on toes and turning feet and whatnot, I'm like, all of this is straight out of ballet that I did.
Yep.
It's 5 minutes teaching like, this is what fourth position looks like. And this is, I forget what this is called, if I can remember the name and teach that and be like, bam, all of your ladder drills can draw on that now. For just being on the toes. Ballet is all on the toes and spin.
And spin. So one thing to remember a little bit of while we're doing a lot of focus. So there's some conversation about where you get power from. So you have to be a little careful. What I've been seeing is we'll go through our shadow drills here in a second, but the idea is we're moving around, we're committing, and sometimes we throw while we're in movement. That's fine. You will not get the same power of throwing while you're in movement as here we are, we're moving, I set, bang, and then I go back to movement. You set, that foot allows that hard push into the ground. So you can develop some power into long, as you're moving, drops. Because here, what I'm doing is I'm generating power from dropping into this foot. But there is this is probably the hardest part with a movement style. Even Lomachenko suffers from his shots not necessarily having as much power. And that is, there's all of these movements, you have to find where that weakness is in it, bang, and then you set, and then you release.
Very short is the goal. And
that is exactly it. The idea is that set and release becomes very fast. For normal people, when they're moving around, they set up, and then they go. The difference is our setup is a lot faster. So if she's constantly moving and I set, now I got to come over here, I got to reset, then I got to reset. And I'm used to constantly setting before I can throw. Because you're in movement all the time, now they're out of sorts because they can't take that time to set.
Or as soon as I see you set, that's my cue to move. That's all I have to do is just move and your shot's done.
All right, so be aware in a really big movement style that there's time. There are going to be times when I literally be like, all right, Saib, you're going to stand right here. Good stance. You're going to just straight deliver good shots. Just so you can make sure this set form is also memorized, no different than your movement. So that way, later, you know how to set and throw, and how to deliver power, you know how to move. Now you bring them together. But if you never practice setting and throwing and delivering that, ha! All that power into it, driving, right? Then when we get, you can move all day long, but you're never learning how to drive that power. So you have to learn how to drive that power as well. So be careful. What I see a lot is we work on a lot of movement, but then we're not working on just your simple Pell shot. And again, if you're using rattan on a Pell, please have carpet or rope on the Pell. It's not good for your hands, the vibration. But sit at that Pell and think about those perfect shots. Ha! That breath, all of that focus, shouldn't have to think about it. Ha! The throw is subconscious. Setting up your opponent to getting into that place and setting, I don't have to think about the throw. The battle on the feet, the battle of distance and movement, there's a battle going on. We think about that in the battle. We think about the weaknesses that we saw while we do it. Execution should be without thought. And again, we have to watch, when I say without thought, we have to watch that emotions aren't clouding our thoughts either. Saib, we're practicing, Saib hits me a couple times, right? And then I'm like, oh, I got to hit her. And then all of a sudden, all my emotion is about hitting her. Now she's going to take this. All my thought is about hitting her. It's not about defense. It's not about good setup. Emotionally, I overwhelm myself. Doesn't mean that you can't succeed, but it's not as guaranteed as here I am. I'm like, okay, bring it back down. I got to do, why am I getting hit? Bad defense, I'm getting better defense. And I got to keep moving. Better off thinking about what the good technique is to get you back into the fight. All right, so we're going to go ahead and do some constant movement stuff. We're going to run 1 minute rounds. Okay, so 1 minute rounds, and then we're going to fall back into some throw and slides. I'm going to talk a little bit about some slips in those slides next time. I'm going to actually make on my Pell, I'm going to make a something to help, and I'll show you guys how I make it for essentially slides and stuff like that. So hopefully it'd be relatively simple and something you can copy. But in this 1 minute drill, I set it up. So you guys are going to set up for 1 minute. The idea is if you have a Pell and you want to put it in the middle of the room or on the side, so you can constantly like think about fighting that person, is that Pell. If it's just a pole or a chair or whatever, if you have a big enough area, then work around it, right? I don't care, just find what you have to work with. The idea is I'm going to go ahead and trigger fast and slow. I will call out fast and slow. So when you hear me say fast, I want you to go into just constant, like fast movement, double feet. Just keep those feet moving. And then slow. Just gonna slow that down. You're gonna create some circular motion and fast. And slow. Let that mind relax. Think about that person in front of you still, putting a little tensions on them. In a fight, what you're going to be looking for out of a person is in fast mode, they will start reacting really fast. You're going to see them struggle to keep up. Your job is essentially like a jog. Keep that heart rate in relatively decent shape. And when you need to get more air, then you're going to slow down. But you're still going to push on your opponent. He didn't know you slowed down yet. When you recognize them looking like, oh, he slowed down, I need to slow down, that's actually when you can pick it back up again. So you get a break, they get no break. Okay, that's what's happening in this style of fight. So this is how I break people down. Me and Runholder break people down with this type of tension. All right, so and you do this enough, somebody starts running out of air, they start doubting themselves. They run out of enough air, they just want to die. It's like, I gotta throw something to kill him, I don't care if he kills me. And then if they can't kill you, at that point it's very emotional because they're literally in their heads like, I can't do this, I can't do this, I can't do this, I can't keep up this pace. And then at some point they're gonna be like, you know what? I'm gonna hang out there and take a shot. Tension and work like this is part of a fight. We don't use it a lot in the past because we just like emotionally jump on a person, slug it out, and we're done. In this case, what we're gonna do is we're gonna break them down at first. I'm gonna make just like round one of a fight. I'm gonna wear them out a little bit, see what they got. It's safe. I'm safe. I'm safe. I'm seeing what they have. Okay. Now he wants to take a break. I'm just gonna walk him down. I'm literally, you can walk. When I say slow down, just go to a walk. But I want you to just keep walking. All right, so me and Sai, we're gonna do this. We're gonna go ahead, everybody. Remember, you should be looking at your Pell all the time. For me and Sai, we're gonna do this as a partner, so we're both moving. And we're gonna go 1 minute, and I'm gonna call fast and slow. When I say slow, just walk around like you're pushing on the corners of your opponent. And ready? Go. Yep. 3, 2, 1, go. Fast.
Round 1.
Go. Fast. Slow. Fast. Slow. Fast. Slow. That's your 10-second warning. Keep going fast. Wait for the bell. You can.
30 seconds of rest.
We got one more round.
Yes, it makes that weird 10-second warning sound. Sorry.
All right, get in there, watch them. Four, 3, 2, wait, and go, fast.
Round 2. Final.
Go. Fast. Slow. Fast. For the bell, slow. Good. All right, get a drink. How's everybody feel? What do you think about that drill?
That's a great drill. I need to get better regulating my breathing for that.
And that's the idea why I brought this drill back, is we have to learn how to regulate breathing better. Also, not only breathing, but our mind. So when we're fast, there's a lot of computing going on every step you take. See what your opponent's doing, right? You're looking for weaknesses, bad throws, bad blocks, and then you want to slow it down, let it sit, and just, you don't want to stop because then your opponent can reset. So if I'm going fast and they're breathing hard, if I just stop, they're like, oh, I can stop. Now you can use that, but that's not what we're talking about. But if I stop and they stop, we're like, oh, good, he gave me a break. That's not what I want. So even when I stop, I keep pushing like into the side. You see me even lean, put my head in there and take it away. Point on either side of their nose. All right? And I'm breathing. I'm bringing my heart rate back down. But I'm still, I'm going to give him a couple jabs. I'm still keeping them. As I see they're like, hey, he slowed down. I need to slow down. Then I'm like, okay, now I'm going to give him more energy again. Make him think, not give him a break.
What do you mean? Well, I feel that my feet gets much wider when I go through the fast mode.
Hold on. Let me, Frank, I'm going to go over to you. And if you don't mind, get a little closer to the mic. Okay, here, hold on. All right.
I feel like my feet get much wider as soon as I go into the fast mode. Since I lose some more power of moving sideways, I tend to put my feet much wider than going slow.
Yes. Yeah, and that is a problem with moving fast. Is when you move fast, you tend to take bigger motions. So you also have to be careful because distance can play a game in that. As you take bigger motions, you could be getting a little farther and farther away from your opponent. Your opponent doesn't feel as threatened. So you always want to get back into its place where your opponent has to feel threatened. So, but yes, 100% have to watch your feet. Even my feet get big. The trick is if you're far enough away, big feet, it's not going to hurt you much. But as soon as you get closer, those feet have to get tighter, right? You got to get very disciplined.
Yeah, because in close, your motions are maybe an inch.
Yeah, really. I mean, getting close, you're just inches of movement make a big difference. While farther away, big motion, makes less of a difference. That's why we make bigger motions.
For our friends on the metric system, that's about 2 to 5 centimeters.
All right, let me get some water. Get some water, and now we're going to talk. We're going to go ahead and get that Pell. We're going to watch a little bit. I want to see. We're going to go and take a look at form, throwing form. I'm not going to judge you on my throwing form. I'm going to judge you on how your throwing form looks. In other words, are you dropping, exhaling, pushing into your opponent, not fading away? All of those things. I want you to do strong shots in your first round of throwing stuff. If you don't have a sword and shield, then I don't care. Grab 2 spoons. If you do have one, but not a Pell, then use the imaginary Pell. All right? But the first thing we want to see in this is good dropping form. So for side, let me get something here. All right. So for side, the idea is she's going to stand in front of the Pell. She's going to drop into her toes on that front foot, twist that back. Notice how both her knees allow that, how her feet change point. In other words, if I'm going to get a little closer, see my feet, here we are. If I just do this and knees, now I'm twisting both of my knees because both of my feet are on the ground, my heels are stuck. And it's actually making my power go away because I can't release this hip. I could just turn this one, but now, remember we talked about your hips, your feet should always be facing relatively parallel to each other. Otherwise, you're twisting your knee again. So the last one is here I am. I turn, both feet are twisted. Releases that hip. Bang! Now, to get that throw, you should be going from an even stance across both those feet into that front. All right, so you should be going into an 80, 90% because you're dropping that power onto your opponent. So go ahead, I'm gonna go ahead and switch two people here. And just think about it, you don't have to hit hard. Just want good feet, good hip, and a good drop into the front foot. This is your chance to throw a perfect shot. Good feet there, Craig. That's the way. Yes. So it's driving at your opponent. Very good. Nessa, you're up. Good. Make sure both those feet are turning. Very nice. Drive and then turn. Think about driving all that force and it's turning at the end. And explode and breathe. Breathe out right as you hit the Pell to get good timing. Breathe out. Ha! There. Very nice. Dramatic hits on you. Yeah. Good. Good. You see how you relax and you explode? That's exactly what we want. Relax, explode on contact. Sorry. Good. Remember, right now we don't care about how hard you're hitting, but I want that breath. I want you to feel like all the energy is flowing out of your body. Watch your arms. So here we are. Oops, let me get changed from outside here. Otherwise, you're not going to see what I'm doing. So again, same thing. Here I am. I lean, I twist. You notice I'm driving this hip, my whole body upright, not forward or anything. But you get see. Remember, here's my normal toe to heel motion, right? So then toe to heel, turn. And then at the end of this, ha! Right? So it's important to breathe out because that's where all of that tension from your body leads out to the chest. So the idea is if I go, ah, it is not the same. And you can literally try this. Go, just stand there, breathe out, and then throw a shot with no air. The next one, I want you to breathe in, push it, and then just breathe out when you hit it. You can see that difference in your body. So this is that time to practice that. See the instruments in your body. I'm going back up. Right on contact, let that punch out of his body. Before, in between, he's relaxed. And then when he strikes, bang. Come on, Rita. That's it. Breathe out right at the end. That next part of breathing out, Vim, I want to see what you're doing. Good, nice and relaxed. Twist the body and then breathe. Yes, and it's everything right at that end. Hey, you notice it's not at the beginning, right? It's at the end that that explosion happens. It's like the 1-inch punch.
I have a tendency to want to shift. I've driven with my feet.
Yeah.
And I hit the shot. On my return, I want to shift, like move the back foot to realign my ankles or my knees.
Right. Well, let me see that when you're doing it. So on the return is where you're saying you have an issue.
So,
good. No, I don't mind. That's actually our next piece is good throw and then shift offline. That's exactly what you want to do.
If my feet are turned, my whole body wants to catch up to my feet.
Oh, okay. Let me say it again. Yeah, so you're already falling. Stop thinking about, so you got to wind. So here's what I see for them, what you're doing a little bit. Let me go back to me. Replay. The idea is you're taking this, here you are, and you're rolling out here, and you're leaning a little bit sideways into the empty, right? So you're falling into that empty space. Instead, think about dropping onto your front first, and then throw.
Okay.
So think about dropping into this front knee first, and then throwing. What you're doing is you're throwing, that you're not dropping into this, and then you drop into this, but you're in the negative. There's nothing to catch you there. Does that make sense? I'm going to go back to you, and we're going to just highlight you, and you drop into that front foot first. Shift it to the front leg, and then turn. There you go. See, I shift down into that foot. Good. You see, now you're not falling sideways anymore. You're falling directly into your opponent. That's better. Good. You notice now you're returning back to your normal stance a little better. That's because you're falling into that front foot. There you go. That one you almost fell into the back area. So that's good. Very nice. How does that feel?
Better.
And you notice you can actually pick up more shots because you're not off balance anymore, right?
It's just a subtle shift onto that leg, just a little bit.
Yep.
More.
Exactly. That looked good. Very good. Craig, did you see that? That's a good one for you to know, so that if somebody has that problem, you can adjust them. Make sure you're dropping that power into that front leg a little first before you start, especially on a rotational throw. There you go. See, so for us, if you look at Craig, he drives straight forward towards the Pell, so we don't tend to roll out into that empty space. So we're just pushing straight forward all the time. But for somebody who has rotational throws, then dropping into that front leg stabilizes you, allows you to finish your rotation and come back. All right. Going to Alpwin. Good. So you could be practicing something up a little bit high, but Alpwin, what I would do is drop a little bit more into that knee, front knee if you can. Yep, reach it out, push, there you go. So right now, you're tending to lean your back a little bit back. You can bring your whole body forward. See how your back is not moving, but your legs are. So I'm going to show Alpwin, I'm going to show you a little bit of what you're doing here, just so you can see. So what I see a little bit is you're here, you shift it, but your back kind of, you're pulling your back out. Think about the whole body, bang, you're fully closer. What I see is a little bit of this. So, whoops. All right. So the idea is I'm seeing is like, here you are, you're shifting, but this hip can't be told, you're not dropping into the power cycle. Bang, and then back. So think about directing like you're almost punching that punching bag. I'm going to go back to you for a second. Whole body there. Yeah, that's better. There you go. Good. Now, if you twist that hip, your back heel away out towards the window, yeah. And don't even have to throw outside. Throw onside. Then twist that heel out. There you go. That releases your hip to go even farther. All right, good. Abelard, going over to you. Good. Remember that heel needs to go out. There you go. Nice. Release those feet. Good. That was perfect right there. Much better. Very good. Side is pointing at your kitty litter box. You want to order one of those.
Abelard, litter robot, as good as they say, I want one.
Yeah. All right. There you go.
mute?
You're off mute. So
You say so. It's good as long as it stays balanced. If it gets off balance, then then you have to mess with it. But I know how to take it apart and clean it now. So I mean, down to the wires.
Well, that's good.
Yeah, I know. I'm eyeballing one real hard right now.
Yep.
All right, Vim, on you. Let's see what you got. Yeah, and you notice now Vim's throwing offside, onside, and really by leaning into that front foot, it allows you to turn either way much easier, doesn't it? Good. That looks good. All right, so we're going to practice the next one. All right, I'm going to go back. So again, this exercise, the reason why I wanted everybody to think about this is when you do Pell work, this is what you have to get these feet. You know, you have to get those feet. Like here I am, my feet are already here. Now I'm going to drive that shot, dropping into the front. Okay, now that doesn't mean that every shot is like that. I could be going backwards, bang. But even when I go backwards, what's happening here is what? I'm going backwards, and as my foot right here gets balance on it, and I could do this here. So I take a step back. It's right as this foot is still solid on the ground is when I'm throwing. So just be aware. This is some of the walking and throwing drills. That's what we do. We just make sure that your feet are in the right place. But even as you're going backwards, and you can throw high, just going backwards and falling, but those are going to be lighter shots when you do those. So just be aware that if you're falling backwards, those are going to be lighter shots. Now that doesn't mean that as you're falling backwards, you don't stop, it's like bang, and then go. Okay? And we were talking about that in movement. We go, we stop for a sec, bang, and then we go again, making those setups very fast. If I have to make a setup, walking backwards, set, throw, go again, that's a long time. The shorter you can make that setup, the better. We're going to go back to the first shots we're throwing. And this time, I want a good shot, bang, and then a movement. Okay? Then a good shot, bang, and a movement. Good shot, bang, and a movement. All right, so give me some of those. I'm going to check out. Remember, shot, full good shot, movement. Now this should be something you're doing all the time in a fight. If you want to get more distance, that movement can be back. All right. Good. So go ahead and take that shot, fall somewhere, throw, and back again. There you go. Good, that's the way. Nice, Greg. That's seeing you picking up that speed. That's good. Yep, got to watch how big, you got a big fall on that so your feet will fall apart. Yep. Small feet, there you go. Good, nice gather. Good, very good. That's just a simple gathering step, very nice. And again, what everybody's doing on this exercise is they're getting a shot and then they're moving to change the angle that your opponent has to reset back up again. On you, Abelard. You got it. You can actually literally throw on those drops when you're going into the other motion. Just make sure that your shot is nice and hard and then a movement. Elfin, back to you for a second. That wasn't bad. Yeah, make sure, remember, drop into that front foot, deliver the blow, and then drop off. Yes. These are going to be two different motions. One is a good blow. The next is a movement. Good blow, movement. Don't think about where you're going. Your good blow is right at that opponent, straight at him. Good blow, dropping that front leg, and then move. Yes, that's exactly it. This is actually a little harder because a lot of times we want to fall sideways while we're delivering a blow. And that's not what we really want to be doing because actually we're changing the angle of our throw. Yep. All right, Margarita, on you. Good movement. Nice. Throw. Good movement. Good. Throw. Height. Movement. Throw. Height. Movement. Throw. Height. Movement. Good. So while you're training other people, on you, Nessa, while you're training other people, whoops, didn't pick you up for some reason. Hold on. Where'd you go? I lost her. Oh, she just went dark. That's why. Okay, I'll go on somebody else. Oh, there she is. He's back. Replace. Nope. Having trouble with Nessa, so I'm going to go to somebody else real quick. I see. All right, on you, Dramaticus. Good, and then, right, make sure the attack first, and then move them. Okay, not bad. You fell a little sideways before that, but you're falling into a blow, so I didn't mind too much. You're still falling forward into that blow. One more time. Good, good hard shot, straightforward, deliver. There, very nice. Make that first one count. All right, I'm gonna go over to, Nessa looked like she's having some connection issues. So we're good. All right, so now let's go ahead and we're gonna move to the next one. Wrongwaller is watching you guys, so be careful. He's judgy. Judgy Mitch Juggerson. Yeah, that was awesome.
Oh God, that picture scared me. I was like, no.
All right, I'm gonna raise my volume a little. All right, somebody talk.
Sure, I'll do it.
All right. Next one, I want this. I want top in. Already, because you're jamming into space, you're already on that front foot, so you should be able to deliver a shot. Right. And then shift. But remember, in, throw, shift. So we're throwing, changing angle. If you don't want to do a long jab step, you can also do just that quick shuffle. This one comes up, wait, and then move. All right, let me see how people doing here. All right, Vim, I want to see. Good, and then move. You notice how it takes a little bit of thought. The idea here is we're trying to get rid of that thought by doing it more and more. Pretty soon it's you throw and you're just moving to the next position. You throw, you're moving to that next position, bang! But in between, all I'm thinking about when I throw is throwing a good blow, throwing forward. Not thinking about escaping. I'm not thinking about going sideways. I am thinking about delivering onto my opponent. Right? That's instinct. That's the part you don't think. It's bang, and then all of that's released, and you're back into motion. But if you're thinking about, I'm going to move sideways, what aren't you thinking about as much? I'm going to block. You're not thinking about finishing your shot. Very important in power to finish that shot. Think about finishing it. Nice. Just kind of watching Margarita. I'm hopping over to you. Vim, you're looking good, man. I like it. I hope that you're catching the little differences in all of this. It sure looks like it. You're doing a much better job falling straight at your opponent. Nice, Margarita. Your movement has become so much better. So for you, movement has been becoming better. So now your focus really needs to be on that striking power, right? So you need to make that shot just part of you, so that when you start that shot, you know everything is going to finish. You're going to kill this person. You're not thinking about moving, you're thinking about killing. All right, Abelard, on you. That's it. Good. Think about deliver, move. Very nice. That was exactly it right there. Yes. Very nice. Craig, on you. Good. Nice. There's another reason why you want to drive straight forward on this, and that is your accuracy is so much better when you're driving in the line that you're trying to do. When you're starting to fall away, you start losing some of that accuracy. Nice, Greg. Good. You can see how he almost literally hits that Pell and stops and then moves. Okay? And that becomes shorter and shorter as it gets better and better. All right. On you, Germanicus. That's the way. Get an idea of how that slow work works. So right there, you're thinking close, and then you're thinking kill. So on your second hand, when you're falling out, I want you, the motion is like, I'm going to fall out and throw this blow, but I want you at the end of that blow thinking, I'm going to throw this blow and it's going to destroy him. Right? That way, you know you have a finish on it. And I will warn you all, sometimes you have to give your opponent time to think. So if you go into a lot of shots back to back to back, you may have hit them, once or twice. You may have touched them, and maybe it wasn't good. Don't give them time to think. So in other words, I could stand in and I'm throwing all this stuff. So all they're thinking about is defense. I got touched here. I'm going to keep throwing. But then you never give them time to let them think about it. Sometimes if you have an opponent that tends not to take blows, hit them, back off, give them a chance to think about it. Once they think about it, they're like, I'm not sure if that was good or not. So now they're thinking about if that was good or not to make a decision. Even if they don't make the decision you want, they are still like, oh, you touched me. So you're winning the game because they're thinking. So be careful about just standing on top of somebody and throwing blow after blow after blow, because every blow you throw, your defense degrades. All right, Bam, let's see a couple more of you. Oh, we got Nessa back. Good. Nice. That's nice. Oh, very nice, Bam. So for you, you're going to have to start putting some lines on your Pell that you're going to start throwing your perfect angles, because those are very nice shots. Very good.
Very good.
The idea. You notice falling straight at that opponent makes that angle perfect, doesn't it? Good. All right, Nessa, going over to you. You're back. Yeah, you can move like that and then hit them when they're left. All right, let's see it again. Remember. Good. Very nice. A lot better that time. The time before, that time you actually, good, that's perfect. You see how, the good part is you're like textbook. As you're dropping forward, your elbow's bending, right? Your body is square and your elbow comes back to your shoulder, comes back to your hand, and you're creating that power, right? So that's the key is she's showing you exactly, her hand is far away from her body, and then as she falls in, that elbow bends. The shoulder comes to the sword and the hand, and then the power is blown out from there. Exactly. Very good. Thank you, Nessa. That was a really good demonstration there. All right, Al, back on you for a second. Good. Nice timing on that one. Good. So you guys can see Elkwin's actually working on some thrust as well. So that's exactly something you can work on with these as well, is dropping some thrust, especially as you're changing angles or going backwards. So, you know, even that thrust doesn't even necessarily need to be a shot. It just can be if you're fighting somebody that's two weapon, it could be a fake just to make them think. Again, we're back to making them think. We want them to think. We want to put them into a place where they're not thinking about hitting us. So again, here we are. We hop in, bang, bang, and then we fight. All right. All right. So I want the last pieces before everybody. We're gonna wrap her up, but before everybody goes, the last piece I want that same. Here I am, shuffle in. Want that drop? Notice when I drop, it is not this. Here I am, shuffle in. I note this is not the angle. It's a good, we see that angle a lot out of taller people. We see that angle out a lot more out west. Problem with this angle is you're driving down. If their shield is there, you'll drive down into their leg. If their shield is out, it's an easy block. I want shuffle in, drop your butt. That elbow drops across your body. Look at this elbow. Drop elbow. And if you really want, you can drop elbow and turn those. Look at my feet turn again. So here we are. So now, when I throw this sword is actually coming straight out at you. Instead of, I throw this, it's coming out outside of you. The good part is, if I'm coming across my body, there's less vector. Look at my shield defense. A lot less place for me to get hit. If I throw it outside my body, look at that arm. It's like just people waiting there to hit. So I want a couple, at least 5. Don't have to drop super low like I was. But here we are. Whatever step you want to take, drop your butt a little, elbow drop in, and that sword turns at the last second. All right, and then I'm gonna watch a little bit. Okay, that's on you first. Okay, good. Let's go ahead and break it up a little bit, a little slower on the drop and the throw. I know you really want to throw that wrap, and you can. Just do these first. And for a lefty, this is super important for you. Good, that's nice. Make sure that elbow's coming across the body and then try to think about turning your feet. All right, on you, Abelard. Good, that was a lot better, Nessa. Good. Good. That's the way. Nice move in and out. Very nicely. Done. All right. On you, Margarita. Nice. Make sure not go down. And throw it. Yep. Don't throw back. Make that arm go even low, a little bit lower. Just above their knee. See how you're still throwing up at the body, it almost looks like? It might just be the camera, but it looks like your sword comes back up. Okay, so make sure that, so I'm gonna show you what it looks like. It may not be what's happening, it just may be your camera, but I'm gonna show you what it looks like. So here we are. You're actually going in really nice, you're dropping here, and then you're kind of rising up a little, or even when you're here, you still kind of rise your hand up. I want this, if you're standing here, you can put a piece of tape right at the top of your knee. And I want it right above that tape. So here it is, we shuffle in. that arm is just staying down here. We don't want it coming, that arm is down here. See how it's almost horizontal to the ground? We don't want this. That is a shot later if you're faking. Back on you, Margarita. I want to see a perfect shot. Take your time. There you go. Good. Slide in. Good. A little better. Now, if you know why. All right. Let's shot you here. All right. On, Craig. All right. Let's see what you got. Then we'll wrap it up. Nice. That's the way, Craig. See how low? And Craig's a tall man. See, he put that tape right where his knees are. And he's hitting right above that tape every time. This is a good exercise to actually have somebody watch you and they can call where that sword hits. In other words, if that sword will put a marking on where the leg is, we're like 1 inch too high, 2 inch too high, 1 inch too low.
We actually, if you remember on our bob in the garage, we had multiple stripes of like red, yellow, gray. So that way the person watching had a much easier gauge of how far on and off you were. You could just call it out on the fly, and then you don't have to stare at the target, which you don't really want to do.
Exactly. Margarita, nice. I'm glad you're Margarita. I'm glad you're practicing with both hands. Very good. All right, on you, Dramaticus. Let's wrap it up. Vim, I'm going to be on you next. So remember, try to keep your hips both at your opponent. Right now, you're turning sideways too early. So make that distance change. Yes, now drop. Yes, there we go. Straight at. Right. Now remember, see if you can drop 1 inch. So step in, I want you to drop 1 inch, and then I want you to throw the sword. All separate. Step in. There, right there, like that. Yes, do it again. I know your back's hurting, so you only can do so much. Right, that time again, you didn't go directly at your opponent. Directly at your opponent, it should be the same. Yes, now. Good, much better. So sometimes it's important to break these up because then you can make sure your technique is perfect all the time. All right, Vim, on you. Nice, one more time, let's see. Good, you probably don't need to drop the knee quite as low.
Okay.
All right, just do a nice body weight squat.
I want to go deep.
And your arm can do some of the drop, so right there, good, yes, that's the way. Now, think about bringing your elbow a little more across from you. But you're gonna go back to me just so we can see it. And that is, think about, here I am, I'm dropping, I'm just sitting, right? So I sit, now this elbow comes across me as I'm twisting. So now everything's going forward. The way I set this up is Saad's gonna come over here for a second. Stand right there next to me. You just make, hey, just hold your stick up. So watch, if I do this, that could just be a pole in the ground or whatever you want, then it's wrong. If I do this, then it's right. So if I drop out too early, then your opponent gets to see stuff, they get a chance to take your arm. If I'm here and I'm driving forward, that's not in the way anymore. So it's a good way to practice if you're rolling out too far or not. That works also on a high scenario, turn it toward the other way. If I'm here and I do this, okay? But if I get past it first and go straight forward, you can see I can go straight because that hand's coming across the body. Nothing wrong, you do rotational throws, but still, even on a rotational throw, think about that tip coming straight out from your body, not the basket coming straight out from your body. Does that make sense?
What we're talking about right now is what this Pell tool was originally built for. Was sticking in front of the Pell. And the goal was to be able to go past it and still hit instead of running into it. So yeah, it's as easy as get a piece of PVC pipe and stick it in another tube. front of your Pell. You'll be amazed.
All right. This is good because you can literally, like for her, if I'm in front of the Pell, like here I am, you guys can all see me. I got my nose directly in front of this Pell. She's going to come to the other side. And she's going to, this is very difficult to hit my head. But now what she's going to do is she's going to actually, there's lots of ways to do this too. Lean into that front foot and then throw the shot. See, there she knew. She did the wrong shot. Lean, throw. There, right there. Okay? So this is a good way to learn a little bit of accuracy, and you have a tool to help you in that learning process.
And the ball shouldn't be touching your Pell in the nose. Like it's got to be a little bit out like a field would be.
Yep. All right, one more time, Tim. I just want to see you one more time. And then we're going to wrap it up, talk a little bit and wrap it up. No, that's all right. Ah, that looked nicer. Yeah, you see how that arm really just drops right into place, doesn't it?
There's more power.
Yes, more power. You were right. And more distance. You find yourself almost being too close now, don't you? There you go. Good. Yes. All right. So let's go ahead. I'm going to put this in party mode here, as I call it. And first, I'm going to thank everybody on Facebook. Thanks for coming out. And if you want to join us, you're always welcome to ping me, Saib, or Louis, or anybody actually in this Zoom group. I'm sure they don't mind. They add people all the time. And people are welcome. So we'll leave that. Let me get off of Facebook and then we can go ahead and start talking.